The Terran Awakening. In the year 2157, humanity stood on the precipice of a new era. Dr. Samantha Chen, a brilliant physicist at the Global Space Initiative, GSI, had achieved what many thought impossible: faster than light travel. As she stood before the United Earth Council, her heart raced with excitement and trepidation. Distinguished members of the Council, she began, her voice steady despite her nerves, today marks the dawn of a new age for humanity. Our prototype FTL drive has successfully completed its first test flight to Alpha Centauri and back. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of gasps, cheers, and furious whispers. Council President Adebayo raised his hand, silencing the room. Dr. Chen, the implications of this are staggering. How soon can we begin to explore beyond our solar system? Samantha's eyes gleamed with determination. With your approval and funding, we can have a small fleet of FTL-capable ships ready within 2 years. As the Council deliberated, none could have predicted how this moment would reshape humanity's destiny. Over the next 5 years, Earth experienced a renaissance of space exploration and technological advancement. The first wave of human explorers, aboard their sleek starships, ventured into the unknown with a mix of excitement and apprehension. It was Captain Michael Torres, commanding the UES Horizon, who made first contact. As his ship dropped out of FTL on the edge of an uncharted star system, the crew was awestruck by the sight before them. A massive space station, clearly of alien origin, orbiting a blue gas giant. "All stations, report," Torres ordered, his voice tense but controlled. "Ensign Park, are you picking up any transmissions?" Before Park could respond, the ship's communication system crackled to life. A melodious, almost musical voice filled the bridge. "Unidentified vessel, you have entered Galactic Concordat space. Please identify yourself and state your intentions." Torres exchanged a look with his first officer, Commander Aisha Khoury. This was the moment they had trained for, but nothing could truly prepare them for first contact. Taking a deep breath, Torres responded, "This is Captain Michael Torres of the United Earth Ship Horizon. We come in peace, seeking friendship and knowledge." There was a long pause before the alien voice responded, "United Earth Ship, we have no record of your species or civilization. Please stand by for boarding and inspection." As a sleek, iridescent shuttle approached the horizon, Torres couldn't shake the feeling that humanity had just stepped onto a much larger stage, one where they were very much the newcomers. The alien delegation that boarded the horizon was a sight to behold. 3 distinct species, each more fantastic than the last, entered the ship's conference room. The lead diplomat, a tall, willowy being with shimmering, translucent skin, introduced herself as Ambassador Lyra of the Elysians. "Captain Torres," Lyra began, her voice a mixture of curiosity and concern, "your arrival is most unexpected. The Galactic Concordat has governed this sector of the galaxy for millennia, yet we have no record of your species." Torres, doing his best to maintain his composure, explained humanity's recent achievement of FTL travel and their first steps into the galactic community. The other 2 aliens, a reptilian being called Scathar and a bulbous, tentacled creature introduced as Alo, exchanged looks that Torres couldn't quite decipher. Scathar's forked tongue flicked out as he spoke, his voice a low hiss. "You mean to tell us that your species has only just achieved faster than light travel? How quaint." Alo's tentacles rippled in what Torres assumed was amusement. "Indeed, it's been so long since we've encountered a truly young species. This is most entertaining." Torres felt a flash of indignation, but kept his tone diplomatic. "While we may be new to the galactic stage, humanity has a rich history of rapid technological advancement and adaptability. We're eager to learn from the Concordat and contribute to the galactic community." Lyra held up a hand, silencing her colleagues. "Of course, Captain. The Concordat welcomes all sentient species, no matter their level of development. We will arrange for a formal introduction to the Galactic Council. In the meantime, We must insist that your ship remain here under our supervision." As the alien delegation departed, Torres couldn't shake the feeling that humanity's welcome to the galactic community was going to be anything but smooth. Over the next few months, as news of the alien encounter spread across Earth, humanity experienced a paradigm shift. Governments united, pooling resources to accelerate space exploration and technological development. The United Earth Council transformed into the Terran Alliance, a unified governing body representing humanity on the galactic stage. Dr. Samantha Chen, now heading the newly formed Terran Advanced Sciences Division, worked tirelessly to improve human technology. "We may be newcomers," she often said, "but that doesn't mean we have to remain behind." As the Terran Alliance prepared for their formal introduction to the Galactic Council, they sent out more exploration vessels, eager to map the cosmos and establish a presence among the stars. However, with each encounter, it became clear that many species in the Concordat viewed humans as primitive curiosities at best and potential threats at worst. Captain Torres, now a key figure in human-alien relations, found himself increasingly frustrated by the condescending attitudes of many Concordat species. During a tense meeting with Zalthori representatives, a race known for their technological prowess and arrogance, he finally spoke out. "With all due respect," Torres said, his patience wearing thin, "humanity may be young compared to your civilizations, but we are not children to be patronized. We have overcome countless challenges in our history and will continue to do so." The Zalthori ambassador, a being of shimmering energy contained within a humanoid exosuit, emitted a sound that might have been laughter. "Bold words, Captain, but in the grand tapestry of the cosmos, your species is but a single frayed thread. It would be wise to know your place." As Torres left the meeting, his fists clenched in frustration, he couldn't help but wonder, how would humanity prove its worth in a galaxy that seemed determined to look down upon them? Little did the Concordat know, the seeds of a technological revolution were already taking root on Earth, one that would soon reshape the balance of power in the galaxy and prove that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. Diplomatic tensions. As the Terran Alliance established its first extraterrestrial colonies and trading outposts, the complex dance of galactic politics became increasingly challenging. Humanity's representatives, led by the charismatic and shrewd Ambassador Elena Rodriguez, found themselves navigating a labyrinth of ancient alliances, unspoken rules, and thinly veiled contempt. The Galactic Concordat's central hub, a colossal space station known as the Nexus, became a second home to Rodriguez and her team. Its vast, glittering halls were filled with representatives from hundreds of species, each with their own agendas and biases. During one particularly tense session of the Galactic Council, Rodriguez stood before the assembled delegates, her voice steady despite the palpable hostility in the chamber. "Esteemed members of the Concordat," she began, "the Terran Alliance comes before you today, not as supplicants, but as equals. We seek fair treatment in trade agreements and the right to expand our colonies within unclaimed systems." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of protests and dismissive laughter. Archconsul Zexvia of the Zalthori rose, his energy form pulsing with barely contained disdain. "Ambassador Rodriguez," he intoned, his voice resonating through the chamber, "your audacity is matched only by your naivety. The systems you speak of have long been designated as potential expansion zones for established Concordat members. Humanity lacks the experience, the technology, and frankly, the right to claim such valuable resources." Rodriguez stood her ground, her dark eyes flashing with determination. "And yet, Archconsul, it is precisely these unclaimed systems where humanity has already begun to thrive. Our colonies on Novaterra and Esperanza Prime have transformed barren worlds into vibrant outposts in less than a decade. Surely that demonstrates our worthiness." Before Zexvia could retort, Lyra of the Elysians interceded, her melodious voice a stark contrast to the tension in the room. "Perhaps a compromise can be reached. The Terran Alliance has shown remarkable adaptability. We propose a probationary period. during which humanity can prove its ability to responsibly manage these colonies. The debate raged for hours, with various factions arguing for and against humanity's expanded role in the galaxy. In the end, a reluctant agreement was reached. Humanity would be granted limited colonization rights under strict Concordat supervision. As Rodriguez left the council chamber, she was approached by Alo, the tentacled diplomat she had first encountered alongside Captain Torres years ago. "Most impressive, Ambassador," Alo burbled, his tentacles undulating in what Rodriguez had learned to recognize as amusement. "You humans continue to surprise us. One almost wonders what you'll do next." Rodriguez offered a tight smile. "We'll continue to grow, learn, and prove ourselves, Alo. It's what we do best." Back on Earth, the situation was becoming increasingly tense. Public opinion was divided between those who saw the Concordat as a gateway to a brighter future and those who viewed the alien races as condescending oppressors. Dr. Samantha Chen, now the head of the Terran Advanced Sciences Division, found herself at the center of this debate. Her team's innovations had propelled humanity forward by leaps and bounds, but they were still playing catch-up to technologies that many Concordat races considered obsolete. During a heated public forum, Chen faced tough questions from both supporters and critics of the Terran Alliance's policies. "Dr. Chen," one journalist asked, "given the Concordat's clear technological superiority, are we putting humanity at risk by continuing to push for equal status?" Chen's response was measured but firm. "Our history is filled with moments where humanity faced seemingly insurmountable odds. Each time, we've risen to the challenge. The key is not to match the Concordat's technology piece by piece, but to innovate in ways they haven't considered. We're not just catching up, we're forging our own path." Unknown to the public and the Concordat, Chen's words held more truth than anyone realized. Deep beneath the surface of Europa, Jupiter's ice-covered moon, a secret facility housed the most ambitious project in human history. Project Quantum Leap, as it was known to only a handful of top-level officials, was humanity's ace in the hole. Chen and her team of brilliant scientists had been working tirelessly on a revolutionary form of quantum tunneling technology, one that could potentially leapfrog centuries of technological development. As Chen stood in the heart of the facility, watching her team fine-tune the experimental device, she felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. If successful, this technology could reshape the balance of power in the galaxy, but it also carried enormous risks. "Dr. Chen," her assistant called out, interrupting her thoughts, "we've just received word from the Nexus. The Zalthori are pushing for stricter controls on human expansion. Ambassador Rodriguez is requesting your presence at the emergency session." Chen nodded, her jaw set with determination. "Tell her I'm on my way. And inform the project leads that we're accelerating our timeline. Humanity's future may depend on what we achieve here." As she prepared to leave for the Nexus, Chen couldn't help but wonder, how would the Concordat react when they discovered that the primitive humans they'd dismissed had developed technology that could rival or even surpass their own? The thought both thrilled and terrified her. Little did Chen know, forces were already in motion that would bring Project Quantum Leap into the spotlight far sooner than anyone had anticipated. The galaxy was about to witness a shift in the cosmic balance, and humanity would be at the center of it all. The Quantum Leap. In the sterile, high-security labs of Project Quantum Leap, Dr. Samantha Chen stood before a shimmering field of energy, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. Years of research, countless setbacks, and moments of brilliant inspiration had led to this moment. Initiating final sequence, her chief engineer, Dr. Raul Patel, announced, his fingers dancing across a holographic interface. Quantum field stabilizing at 99.7%. Chen took a deep breath, her eyes fixed on the swirling vortex of energy before her. "Proceed with the test, Dr. Patel. Let's make history." With a nod, Patel activated the device. The quantum field pulsed, and in an instant, a small probe disappeared from its position in the lab. Seconds later, It reappeared on a platform across the room. The lab erupted in cheers, but Chen remained focused, her mind racing with the implications of what they'd just achieved. They had successfully teleported matter through a quantum tunnel, instantaneously and with perfect precision. Dr. Chen, Paddle said, his voice trembling with excitement, preliminary data shows 0 molecular degradation. We did it. We've cracked instantaneous matter transportation. Chen allowed herself a small smile. Excellent work, everyone. But remember, this is just the beginning. We need to scale this up, and fast. The future of humanity may well depend on it. As the team celebrated their breakthrough, Chen stepped away to make a secure call. "Madam President," she said when the call connected, "Project Quantum Leap was successful. We're ready to move to the next phase." President Kira Yamamoto's voice was tense but hopeful. "Outstanding work, Dr. Chen. But we may not have as much time as we'd hoped. The situation with the Concordat is deteriorating rapidly." Chen's elation faded, replaced by a sense of urgency. "Understood, Madam President. We'll accelerate our timeline." "How bad is it?" "Bad enough that we may need to reveal our hand sooner than we planned. The Zalthori are pushing for sanctions against us, claiming we're a destabilizing influence in the sector. Ambassador Rodriguez is doing her best, but we're running out of diplomatic options," Chen finished. "I understand. We'll have a working prototype ready for ship integration within the month. After that, Yamamoto said, her voice steel, "we show the galaxy that humanity is not to be underestimated." As Chen ended the call, she turned back to her team, her mind already racing with the challenges ahead. They had achieved the impossible, but the real test was yet to come. Weeks passed in a blur of frenetic activity. The quantum leap technology was miniaturized, refined, and integrated into a prototype vessel named the TAS Prometheus. Captain Michael Torres, whose first contact with the Concordat years ago had set this chain of events in motion, was chosen to command the revolutionary ship. As Torres stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, nestled in a secret dry dock beneath the lunar surface, he marveled at how far humanity had come in such a short time. "Captain," his XO, Commander Yuki Tanaka, reported, "all systems are green. Quantum drive is online and stable. We're ready for the first full-scale test." Torres nodded, a mix of pride and nervousness coursing through him. "Very well, Commander. Let's show them what humanity can do. Initiate quantum jump to Mars orbital coordinates." The bridge crew held their breath as Tanaka activated the drive. For a brief moment, the entire ship seemed to vibrate at a molecular level. Then, in the blink of an eye, the lunar landscape outside the viewports was replaced by the rusty red sphere of Mars. The bridge erupted in cheers, but Torres remained focused. "Status report," he ordered. "All systems nominal, Captain," Tanaka reported, her voice filled with awe. "We've successfully teleported to Mars orbit. The jump took less than a nanosecond." Torres allowed himself a small smile. "Excellent. Let's run a full diagnostic and prepare for the return jump. The real test is consistency." As the Prometheus continued its trials, pushing the boundaries of the new technology, tensions in the wider galaxy were reaching a boiling point. On the Nexus, Ambassador Elena Rodriguez found herself in an increasingly precarious position. The Zalthori, led by the zealous Arch-Consul Zexvia, had launched a propaganda campaign painting humanity as a dangerous, unpredictable species that needed to be contained. During a particularly heated Galactic Council session, Zexvia's energy form pulsed with barely contained anger as he addressed the assembly. "Esteemed colleagues," he intoned, his voice resonating through the chamber, "we have tolerated the humans' presence for too long. Their rapid expansion and disregard for established protocols threaten the very stability of the Concordat. We must act now to curtail their ambitions before it's too late." Rodriguez stood to respond, her voice steady despite the hostile atmosphere. "Arch-Consul, your fears are unfounded. Humanity seeks only peaceful coexistence, and the opportunity to contribute to the galactic community. Our advancements pose no threat to the Concordat. Zexvia's form flickered with what might have been laughter. No threat. Your kind has expanded to a dozen star systems in less than a decade. Your technology advances at an alarming rate. If left unchecked, who knows what damage you could cause? The debate raged on, with various factions taking sides. The Elysians, led by Lyra, advocated for patience and understanding, while others aligned with the Zalforis' hardline stance. As the session adjourned, Rodriguez received an urgent communication from Earth. President Yamamoto's holographic form appeared before her expression grave. "Elena," the president began, "the situation has escalated beyond our worst projections. Our deep space sensors have detected a large Zalfori fleet mobilizing near their home system. Intelligence suggests they may be planning a preemptive strike against our colonies." Rodriguez felt a chill run down her spine. "Madam President, surely they wouldn't risk open war. The political fallout would be catastrophic. They might if they believe they can end the human threat quickly and decisively," Yamamoto replied. "We need more time. Project Quantum Leap is ready, but we haven't had a chance to implement it fleet-wide." Rodriguez nodded, her mind racing. "I'll do what I can to stall them here, but we need to prepare for the worst. If the Zalfori attack, we'll need every advantage we can get." As the communication ended, Rodriguez steeled herself for the challenges ahead. The fate of humanity would be decided in the coming days, and she was determined to ensure her species had every chance to prove its worth. Back on Earth, Dr. Chen and her team worked around the clock to outfit as many ships as possible with the Quantum Leap technology. The prototype fleet, though small, represented humanity's best hope for survival in the face of the looming Zalfori threat. Captain Torres, now fully versed in the capabilities of the Quantum Leap drive, was tasked with training a cadre of elite pilots. The technology required split-second decision-making and a level of spatial awareness that pushed even the most experienced spacers to their limits. During a high-stakes simulation, Torres addressed his pilots. "Remember, the Quantum Leap drive isn't just about faster travel. It's a weapon, a shield, and a lifeline all in one. In the hands of a skilled crew, a single ship with this tech can outmaneuver an entire conventional fleet." As the pilots ran through increasingly complex scenarios, Torres couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and apprehension. They were about to change the face of space warfare, but at what cost? In her lab, Dr. Chen put the finishing touches on a miniaturized version of the Quantum Leap drive. If her calculations were correct, this device could be used to create localized teleportation fields, allowing for unprecedented tactical advantages in both offensive and defensive operations. As she sealed the device in a secure container, Shen received an urgent message from President Yamamoto. "Dr. Chen, we're out of time. The Zalfori fleet has begun its advance. We need to deploy everything we have." Chen's heart raced as she replied, "Understood, Madam President. The fleet is as ready as it'll ever be. I'm sending the tactical teleporters now. Good luck to us all." As humanity prepared for the coming storm, the galaxy held its breath. The Zalfori, confident in their superior numbers and centuries of technological advancement, had no idea that they were about to face an enemy unlike any they had encountered before. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reshape the balance of power in the galaxy and prove, once and for all, that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. Concordat's aggression. The vast expanse of space above Earth's Novaterra colony world erupted into chaos as the Zalfori fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel. Hundreds of sleek, energy-sheathed warships filled the sky, their weapons already charging for what they assumed would be a swift and decisive strike against the human upstarts. Arch-Consul Zexvia, commanding the fleet from the flagship Eternal Radiance, allowed himself a moment of smug satisfaction. "Let the humans witness true power," he announced to his bridge crew. "Commence the attack. Show no mercy." But as the first salvos of energy weapons lanced out towards the seemingly defenseless human colony, the Zalthori encountered something entirely unexpected. Captain Michael Torres, aboard the TAS Prometheus, watched the Zalthori fleet's arrival from the edge of the system. "All ships, initiate quantum leap protocols," he ordered, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "Remember your training. We're not just fighting for our lives today, but for the future of our entire species." In an instant, the small fleet of human ships equipped with quantum leap drives vanished, only to reappear in the midst of the Zalthorid formation. The alien vessels, caught completely off guard, found themselves under attack from all sides. The Prometheus blinked in and out of existence, each time appearing at a different location to unleash a barrage of fire before vanishing again. Other human ships followed suit, creating a dizzying dance of destruction that left the Zalthori reeling. Aboard the Eternal Radiance, Zexvia's energy form pulsed with a mixture of rage and disbelief. "Impossible," he roared. "How are they moving like that? Reconfigure our sensors. Adapt our shields." But the Zalthori's attempts to counter the humans' quantum technology proved futile. Their sensors, designed to track conventional faster-than-light travel, were useless against ships that could instantaneously teleport across vast distances. As the battle raged, Dr. Samantha Chen monitored the situation from a secure bunker on Earth. The tactical data streaming in confirmed her wildest hopes. The quantum leap technology was performing even better than expected in actual combat conditions. "Madam President," she reported to Yamamoto, "the fleet is holding its own." The Zalthori seemed completely unprepared for our level of maneuverability. Yamamoto's holographic form nodded grimly. "Excellent work, Doctor. But this is just the beginning. We need to push them back decisively if we're to have any hope of a diplomatic resolution." Meanwhile, on the Nexus, Ambassador Elena Rodriguez found herself in a political firestorm. News of the Zalthori's unprovoked attack had spread quickly, and the Galactic Council was in an uproar. "This is an outrage," Lyra of the Elysians declared, her usually melodious voice sharp with anger. "The Zalthori have violated every principle of the Concordat. They must be held accountable." Other species, long wary of the Zalthori's growing influence, seized the opportunity to voice their own grievances. The council chamber descended into chaos as accusations flew and alliances shifted. Rodriguez, seeing an opportunity to turn the tide of galactic opinion, stepped forward to address the assembly. "Esteemed members of the Concordat," she began, her voice cutting through the din, "humanity came to you in peace, seeking friendship and cooperation. We have endured condescension, restrictions, and now outright aggression. Yet even now, we do not seek vengeance. We ask only for the right to defend ourselves and to be recognized as equals in this galactic community." Her words seemed to strike a chord with many of the assembled delegates. Species that had previously dismissed humanity began to see them in a new light. As the battle above Novaterra continued to rage, reports of humanity's incredible new technology began to filter through to the Nexus. The ability to teleport entire ships across vast distances instantly was unlike anything the Concordat had ever encountered. Olo, the tentacled diplomat who had first encountered humanity years ago, approached Rodriguez after her speech. "It seems we have greatly underestimated your species, Ambassador," he burbled, his tentacles rippling with what might have been respect. "Perhaps it is time for the Concordat to reassess its stance on humanity's place in the galaxy." Back in the Novaterra system, the tide of battle had decisively turned. The Zalthori fleet, despite its superior numbers, found itself outmaneuvered at every turn. Human ships would appear out of nowhere, unleash devastating attacks, and vanish before the Zalthori could respond. Captain Torres, coordinating the defense from the Prometheus, allowed himself a moment of grim satisfaction. "All ships, press the advantage," he ordered. "Drive them back to the system's edge. Let's show them that humanity is not to be trifled with." As the Zalthori fleet began to retreat, Arch-Consul Zexvia faced a moment of bitter realization. The humans, whom he had dismissed as primitive upstarts, had not only stopped his attack, but were on the verge of inflicting a humiliating defeat on one of the Concordat's most powerful races. "This isn't over," he snarled to his command staff. "Fall back to Rally Point Alpha. We'll regroup and return with reinforcements. These humans cannot be allowed to possess such power." But as the remnants of the Zalthori fleet limped away from Novaterra, it was clear to all observers that a new era had dawned. Humanity, in one decisive battle, had proven itself to be a technological and military force that could stand toe-to-toe with the greatest powers in the galaxy. As news of the victory spread across human space, celebrations erupted on every world and station. But for those in positions of power, the real work was just beginning. They had won the battle, but the struggle for humanity's place in the galaxy was far from over. President Yamamoto, addressing the joint session of the Terran Alliance government, summed up the situation. "Today, we have shown the galaxy that humanity will not bow to tyranny or aggression. But with this great power comes great responsibility. Our next steps will determine whether we are remembered as liberators or conquerors, as a force for peace or another faction in an endless cycle of conflict." As the Terran fleet secured the Novaterra system, all eyes turned to the Nexus. The next moves made in the halls of galactic power would shape the future of not just humanity, but the entire Concordat. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see how the cosmic balance would shift in the wake of humanity's quantum leap. Humanity's triumph. The aftermath of the Battle of Novaterra sent shockwaves through the galactic community. The Nexus, once a bastion of established power dynamics, now buzzed with uncertainty and revaluation. Species that had long deferred to the Zalthori's influence now openly questioned their judgment, while others looked to humanity with a mixture of fear and admiration. Ambassador Elena Rodriguez found herself at the center of a diplomatic maelstrom. As she strode into the Grand Chamber for an emergency session of the Galactic Council, she could feel the weight of countless alien eyes upon her. "Esteemed members of the Concordat," she began, her voice steady and resolute, "we stand at a crossroads. The recent aggression by the Zalthori has shattered the illusion of peace and unity that we have long maintained. But from this crisis comes opportunity, an opportunity to forge a truly equal and just galactic community." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices, some supportive, others skeptical. Lyra of the Elysians rose to speak, her ethereal form shimmering with emotion. "The humans have proven themselves to be far more than we ever imagined," she declared. "Their technology, their adaptability, their courage in the face of overwhelming odds. These are qualities that should be celebrated, not feared. I move that we immediately grant humanity full membership in the Concordat, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails." Olo, the tentacled diplomat, added his support. "We have much to learn from these newcomers. Their quantum leap technology alone could revolutionize travel and commerce throughout the galaxy. We would be fools to isolate them." But not all were convinced. A faction of hardliners, led by representatives of species closely allied with the Zalthori, argued for caution. "How can we trust a species that has concealed such powerful technology?" One delegate demanded. "For all we know, this quantum leap could be a threat to the very fabric of space-time." As the debate raged, Rodriguez remained calm, addressing each concern with patience and clarity. She emphasized humanity's desire for peaceful coexistence, their willingness to share their advancements under the right conditions, and their commitment to upholding the principles of the Concordat. Meanwhile, back in the Novaterra system, the human fleet remained on high alert. Captain Torres, aboard the Prometheus, coordinated with other ships to establish a defensive perimeter. The quantum leap drives had proven their worth in battle, but Torres knew that the technology's true potential lay in peaceful applications. "Imagine," he mused to his XO, Commander Tanaka, "instant transportation of goods and people across the galaxy. We could alleviate famines, respond to natural disasters in moments, explore the furthest reaches of space. Tanaka nodded, her eyes gleaming with the possibilities. It's a new age, Captain. But with great power comes great responsibility. The rest of the galaxy will be watching our every move. On Earth, Dr. Samantha Chen and her team worked tirelessly to refine and expand the quantum leap technology. The miniaturized devices she had developed proved invaluable in the battle, allowing for tactical teleportation that had confounded the Zalthori. As she reviewed the data from the conflict, Chen couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and trepidation. "We've opened Pandora's box," she murmured to her assistant. "Our job now is to ensure this technology becomes a force for progress, not destruction." President Yamamoto, coordinating efforts from the Terran Alliance headquarters, received regular updates from both the diplomatic front and the scientific community. She knew that the decisions made in the coming days would shape humanity's future for generations to come. In a secure video conference with her top advisors, Yamamoto laid out her vision. "We have the galaxy's attention. Now we must show them that humanity is not just technologically advanced, but morally and ethically prepared for the responsibilities that come with such power." Back on the Nexus, the Galactic Council's deliberations had stretched on for days. The Zalthori representatives, humbled by their defeat, had been notably quiet, their once dominant voice reduced to a whisper. Finally, after intense negotiations and impassioned speeches, a consensus was reached. The Council Arbiter, a being of pure energy representing the collective will of the Concordat, rose to deliver the verdict. In light of recent events, and after careful consideration, the Arbiter's voice resonated through the chamber. The Galactic Council hereby extends full membership to the Terran Alliance. Furthermore, we censure the Zalthori Imperium for their unprovoked aggression and strip them of their privileged status within the Concordat. The chamber erupted in a mix of cheers and murmurs. Rodriguez, maintaining her composure, stepped forward to address the council once more. "On behalf of humanity, I thank the Concordat for this recognition," she said, her voice filled with quiet pride. "We accept this membership with humility and a deep sense of responsibility. The quantum leap technology that has brought us to this point will be shared. The quantum leap technology that has brought us to this point will be shared with the Concordat," Rodriguez continued, her words causing a ripple of excitement through the chamber. "But not as a weapon. Instead, we propose the formation of a new Concordat initiative, the Quantum Exploration and Aid Fleet." She paused, allowing her words to sink in before elaborating. "This fleet will use our technology to push the boundaries of known space, to provide rapid response to crises across the galaxy, and to bridge the gaps between our diverse cultures. Let us turn the page on conflict and write a new chapter of cooperation and discovery." The council chamber buzzed with excited discussion. Even those who had been skeptical of humanity's sudden rise to prominence found themselves intrigued by the possibilities. Lyra, her ethereal form shimmering with approval, was the first to speak. "The Elysian Confederation wholeheartedly supports this initiative. Let this be the dawn of a new era of galactic cooperation." One by one, representatives from various species pledged their support. Even a Chassan Zalthori diplomat, speaking on behalf of their chastened empire, offered cautious approval. As the session concluded, Rodriguez found herself surrounded by curious and admiring delegates. Questions about the quantum leap technology, offers of cultural exchange, and invitations to visit distant worlds poured in. Humanity, in one stunning leap, had gone from galactic newcomers to a central player in the Concordat's future. Back on Earth, news of the Galactic Council's decision was met with jubilation. Cities across the planet erupted in celebration, with humans and resident aliens alike taking to the streets in a display of interstellar unity. In her lab, Dr. Samantha Chen watched the celebrations on a holographic display, a mix of pride and determination on her face. "This is just the beginning," she mused to her team. "We've opened the door to a new age of scientific discovery. There's so much more to learn, so much more to explore." Her words were prophetic. In the months and years that followed, the Quantum Exploration and Aid Fleet became a symbol of the Concordat's renewed purpose. Human scientists worked alongside alien counterparts, pushing the boundaries of the technology and uncovering new wonders of the cosmos. The fleet's first major test came when a devastating solar storm threatened a cluster of colonies in the Andromeda Arm. Thanks to the quantum leap drives, aid ships arrived within minutes of the distress call, saving millions of lives and showcasing the technology's potential for good. Captain Michael Torres, now Admiral Torres, found himself at the helm of this new initiative. As he stood on the bridge of the flagship Hope, a massive vessel equipped with the latest in human and alien technology, he reflected on how far they had come. "Set a course for the Veiled Nebula," he ordered, a spark of excitement in his eyes. "Let's see what secrets the universe has been keeping from us." As the Hope and its fleet engaged their quantum leap drives, disappearing in a flash of light only to reappear light years away, the galaxy watched in awe. Humanity had not only earned its place among the stars, but had ushered in a new age of exploration and cooperation. In the halls of the Nexus, Ambassador Rodriguez continued her work, now as a respected voice in Concordat affairs. The challenges were far from over. There were still those who viewed humanity's rise with suspicion, and the complex dance of interstellar politics never ceased. But with each passing day, the bonds between Earth and its galactic neighbors grew stronger. President Yamamoto, addressing the Terran Alliance on the 5th anniversary of the Battle of Nova Terra, summed up humanity's journey. 5 years ago, we were dismissed as upstarts, barely worth the Concordat's notice. Today, we stand as equals among the stars, our technology and our spirit driving us to new frontiers. We have faced the crucible of conflict and emerged not as conquerors, but as peacekeepers and explorers. She paused, her eyes shining with pride and determination. The road ahead is long, and undoubtedly filled with new challenges. But we face them not alone, but as part of a greater galactic community. Together, there is no limit to what we can achieve. As her words echoed across human space and beyond, a new chapter in galactic history unfurled. The species that had once been mocked and underestimated now stood at the forefront of a cosmic renaissance. Humanity had taken its quantum leap, and the universe would never be the same. In the vast expanse of space, countless stars twinkled with possibility. And among them, the ships of the Quantum Exploration and Aid Fleet ventured forth, carrying with them the indomitable human spirit of curiosity, compassion, and courage. The future, vast and unknown, beckoned, and humanity, along with its new allies, raced to embrace it. The end, or perhaps just the beginning of a greater adventure.